This is a quick tour of the Bytecode tools from Recon. These are completely free tools you can use at /tools on our website. The first one is a solidity value converter. Fundamentally, you may run into bytecode, hexadecimals, and you may need to convert it. And so we basically give you the option to convert to every value, including Boolean addresses, as well as casted integers and unsigned integers. So an example will be to grab some value here. You can see they have this adjust row function. I can grab it, I can paste it here, and then in this case, this is a uint256, so that's it. This is the value. And this can be extremely useful when you're trying to debug some transaction. The next tool is the bytecode compare, and I'm going to show you a real reason why we added it, and it's to verify deployment. So we have two options down here: to ignore the hash and the CBOR. Fundamentally, these are compiler inserted artifacts that can make it so that you actually find differences in bytecode that is exactly the same. Fundamentally, you just have to paste two bytecode from deployment, and we're just gonna compare it. So I'm gonna do it on Liquidity. For example, we have more than one Trove manager, and so we can do this verification fairly quickly by just going on Etherscan and grabbing these couple of bytecodes. So we just go here in contract, deployed bytecode. So this will be the Trove Manager 1. I think this is the WEF one, and this is WSTIF. And then I'm gonna grab the second Trove Manager. And then I'm just gonna check the length. As you can see, it's the same. And then I'm gonna compare it. And fundamentally, you can see how it will flag the differences. In this case, it's all the immutable values. And so obviously, when you review something like this, you have to make a decision as to whether the differences are acceptable. But this basically shows you every difference found in the bytecode and allows you to do due diligence at a pretty high level. The next tool is the bytecode formatter. This is one of my favorite tools. I use it in conjunction with the call data formatter from Swiss Army Knife. And so say we have a transaction input, and for example, I'm doing due diligence for a multisig. And so I likely will have the call data, and the call data is not formatted into words. And so what you can do with this tool is you can switch to call data mode, which assumes the first 4 bytes are the signature, and then it will format it by words. And this for ABI standard ABI encoded structures, this is how encoding works. And so this makes it a lot easier to read the call data. And it's a very useful tool. For similar reasons, you may run into blobs of bytes. So say I delete the selector here, just to make an example. For a similar reason, most bytes are formatted in words, 42 bytes words, and so you also have the option to format bytes. And so when you're performing due diligence or you're about to sign a transaction, this tool is likely very useful to you. The rest of the tools, these couple of tools, are very niche. This tool helps you to build the constructor to effectively deploy a contract. So say you are writing a smart contract here in pure bytecode. So say this is your smart contract, which basically stores 2 values and then returns them. So it basically returns the value 42. You actually can't deploy this because this is not adding this is not calling the constructor. The way a constructor works in Solidity, or rather in the EVM, is that you have to copy the contract code to memory and return it. And that's how a smart contract is actually deployed. And that's what this does. I've used a 07F, so basically this is bigger than it needs to be. So it's a bit more expensive, but this makes it so that you can always deploy assembly. And so if you ever need to deploy an assembly snippet in Foundry, just use this tool, and that's how you're gonna be able to do it. This is a string formatter tool. it fundamentally encodes the string to UTF, meaning this is the length. You can see hello, so the length is 5. And it then adds the characters. And so this allows you to encode any string up to 32 bytes into how it will be represented in hexadecimal with UTF-8 encoding. And then our last tool is a very interesting reverse engineering tool. Given a contract, it's going to fetch you the bytecode. And then given the bytecode, it's going to use a couple of reverse engineering tools, evmol and WhatsAPI, to generate an interface that allows you to interact with that contract. So if I was doing my due diligence on the Trove Manager here, and for whatever reason the Trove Manager was not, we didn't have access to the source, we will still be able to actually interact with it. And obviously it's gonna attempt to reverse engineering all the functions. It's gonna have a hit or miss rate, but it fundamentally opens up a new dimension. You can see here it handles structs fairly gracefully. It literally adds a new dimension that allows you to interact with contracts that are completely unverified. And so these are probably the most interesting tool on Recon. You definitely should check them out.